Alleles from both parents are given to the offspring. They are both shown through as a blend of the two alleles. RRRR would result in a red cow as shown in the top left corner of the example picture, and this is the homozygous dominant allele. RWRW would result in a white cow as shown in the top right-hand corner of the example picture, and this is the homozygous recessive allele. RWRR would result in a blend of red and white, or a spotted cow as shown in the middle of the example picture, and this is the heterozygous offspring from the two parents. Codominance inheritance sample problem. Blue and white feathers can be present in birds. Homozygous dominant birds are blue, homozygous recessive birds are white, and heterozygous birds are blue and white, which we can also use the abbreviation BW. So we can label our homozygous dominant capital B, because capital letters represent dominant alleles. And we can label our homozygous recessive as lowercase b, because lowercase letters represent recessive alleles, and our heterozygous as capital B, lowercase b. If a blue bird and a WB bird mated, what is the percentage that the offspring will be blue? So we can go ahead and label our Punnett square because we know we are doing a blue bird and a WB bird, so we can label the top as blue with the capital B because it is homozygous dominant, and we can label the side of it as WB with a capital B and a lowercase b because it is heterozygous. So now we can cross the two birds and we get two uppercase BBs and one uppercase B, lowercase b, and another uppercase B, lowercase b. So as you can see, we have two homozygous dominant bluebirds and two heterozygous white and bluebirds. And we can just label that over here as homozygous dominant. And we can also label the heterozygous birds. And the question asked what percentage of the offspring would be blue, and we know we have 2 out of 4, or 1/2 of them, that are homozygous dominant BB, and that is equal to 50%. Question number 2. If you wanted to breed 100% BW birds, what would the phenotype of the mother and father be? So we know it's asking for the phenotype, so it's going to be a color, which means it could be either white, blue, or BW. And we know that we are breeding 100% BW birds, so that means we are going to have all of our babies as heterozygous. So that means one parent is going to be passing down the capital B all of the time, and the other parent is going to be passing down the lowercase b all of the time. So the parents' genotypes would need to be capital B, and lowercase b, which means we would have a white mother and a blue father. And we can just label that right here on the side. And the crossing works in the Punnett square. So now I'm just showing that there's a capital B from the father in all of the chances, and there's a lowercase b from the mother in all the possibilities of the babies. So this means the parents' phenotypes would need to be white and blue. Question number 3. What would happen if you tried to breed a white bird with a WB bird? A. Probability of having a bird with blue feathers. B. Probability of having a bird with BW feathers. And C. Probability of having a bird with white feathers. So off to the side, I'm just going to make a little key so that we remember what our genotypes are. So for a bluebird, we have capital B. For a BW bird, we have capital B, lowercase b, and for a white bird, we have lowercase b. So we know that the question is asking what would happen if we crossed a white bird and a BW bird, so I'm just labeling the top as white with the 2 lowercase b's, and the side as BW with the uppercase b and the lowercase b. So now if we cross, you will see that we get a capital B, lowercase b, which is 2 heterozygotes and 2 recessive homozygotes. And here I'm just labeling that the are heterozygotes, and we know that there's 2 out of 4 of them, which means there's 1/2, which means there is 50% of them. And here we know that this is homozygous recessive, and we know that there are 2 out of 4 of them, which is the same thing as 1/2, which is also the same thing as 50%. So the question asked how many would have white feathers, and we know that there are 50% of them that will have white feathers. The other question asks how many would have BW feathers, and we know that also 50% of them will have BW feathers. And the last question asks how many would have blue feathers, and we know that none of them are homozygous dominant, so that means 0 out of 4, which is the same thing as 0%. So we saw in this problem, and in especially problem number 2, that when the alleles from both parents are given to the offspring, they are both shown through as a blend of the 2 alleles. So when the homozygous recessive alleles from the white bird and the homozygous dominant alleles from the blue bird were both given to the babies, we came out with a blue and a white bird.